Hello and welcome back to Overbooked. My name is Amanda and today we're going to be going over the Goodreads Choice Awards for 2019. I'm not going to go through all the categories because that would probably take a really long time, but I'm going to go through the categories that I voted for, and then I'm also going to mention YA because I know a lot of booktubers do YA. If you're a booktuber and you're watching, I'm assuming that you're interested in what that category was. So the first category is Best Fiction, and the book that won it is The Testaments by Margaret Atwood. I haven't read this book. I haven't even read The Handmaid's Tale, so I don't really know much about it. I've heard it's good, but I've also heard really mixed reviews about Margaret Atwood as well. So let me know your thoughts on her winning this, and if you have any differing thoughts, or if you think that she probably shouldn't have won. The book that I voted for in this category was A Woman Is No Man by Etef Ram. I really loved this book. It was about an Arab woman coming over to America and living her life here and adjusting to the United States while dealing with her new in-laws and her new husband. And it was such a touching, heartbreaking book, and I really loved it. And I really think that this should have won, but whatever. Some other honorable mentions on here for this category of books that I've read or I want to read. Normal People is on here, and I've read that. Queenie is on here, and I want to read that. The Bookish Life of Nina Hill is actually on here, which I didn't even pay attention to when I was voting. Wouldn't have voted for her, but she's on here. Jacqueline Woodson's Red at the Bone is on here, and I really want to read that book. And actually a lot of other books that I'm reading it, I really want to read a lot of those books. So definitely going to be adding a lot of more books to my TBR based on these nominees. Okay, so the next category is Best Mystery and Thriller. The book that won this category was The Silent Patient by Alex McAlades. I don't know if I said his last name right. I haven't read this book, but I've heard really good things about it, and I actually would really like to read it. The book that I voted for was My Sister is a Serial Killer. This book was actually really fun and interesting. It was about a woman whose sister is a serial killer, and she has to deal with the repercussions of cleaning up after her sister. And it was a really short book, and I really enjoyed it. Honorable mentions for this category is An Anonymous Girl by Greer Hendricks and Sarah Buchanan. And then there's also Miracle Creek by Angie Kim. Both of these books I would love to read. They're on my TBR list. Next category is my favorite genre, historical fiction. The winner of this category was Daisy Jones and the Six. I don't know, disappointed. Daisy Jones and the Six follows this band of 7 members and them touring and coming together, falling apart, their friendships, their love, all this different stuff. And it's written by Taylor Jenkins Reid, the author of The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, which I loved. I super enjoyed that book. And if you haven't read that, you should read it. It's super good. Daisy Jones and the Six I thought was okay. I didn't super enjoy it, but it was fine. It wasn't a terrible book, but it wasn't a wow, this is a really good book. It was just fine for me. Obviously, a lot of other people thought differently, so don't judge the book by my judgment. Do I think there was better books that they could have picked from? Hells yeah. So, honorable mentions, for sure. The book that I voted for is The Nickel Boys by Colson Whitehead. I even have a review for this book, and I can link that down below. This is an amazing book based on the real-life reform school in Florida called the Dozier Academy, and it's a fictionalized account of 2 boys' lives at this reform school, and it's very heartbreaking. It's very good. It's so eye-opening, and I highly suggest you read it. It's really short. It's under 300 pages. If you haven't read this book yet, I highly recommend you check it out. Okay, so the next category is romance, and the winner of this category was Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McQuestion. I actually voted for this book, and it won, so that's crazy. I loved this book. I thought it was super fun and really just a great book to read in the summertime. It was fun, flirty, steamy, all great things. It's about the son of the president and the son of the Queen of England and their romance and just the crazy stuff that happens when these 2 famous people fall in love. And it was just a really great read. I have a whole book review on this, and I can link that down below as well. Okay, so the next category is humor. This is a category I don't really read a lot of, but the book that won is a book I really want to read, and it's called Dear Girls: Intimate Tales, Untold Secrets, and Advice for Living Your Best Life by Ali Wong. So I really love Ali Wong and her stand-up comedy. So if you haven't seen her, like her Baby Cobra stuff on Netflix, you should check it out. But I am really excited to read her book. It's pretty much like an intimate letter to her daughters about just being a woman and working in like a male-dominated field and how to navigate that. And so I'm really excited to read that. Hopefully my Hold from the Library comes up soon. The best nonfiction book that won was very disappointing. It was Girl, Stop Apologizing by Rachel Hollis. So cool. I read Girl, Wash Your Face, and when I first read it, I was like, okay, cool. But like, you know, when you sit with a book or information and then after a while you're like, yeah, that wasn't good. And that was like actually really concerning. That's how I felt about Rachel Hollis. And there's actually a booktuber that I watch who is extremely funny and reviews Rachel Hollis in like the most hilarious way. And I'll link her below. She's amazing. But yeah, I don't agree that Rachel Hollis should be the winner here. And if you disagree with me, that's totally fine. Let me know and call me out on my bullshit, but I don't think she should have won. Books that I want to read or have read on here, so the honorable mentions are Three Women by Lisa Didot. I have a whole book review on that book. The book She Said, the book that goes through the whole Harvey Weinstein scandal. It's more of like a journalist deep dive into that whole scenario, and I would really love to read that. Parkland by Dave Collin. I would really love to read this. I've heard really good things about this one, and I think he also wrote a book about Columbine. Trick Mirror by Gia Tolentino, and Thick by Tressie McCallan. I would love to read those books. Okay, next category. Best Memoir and Autobiography. The winner was Over the Top by Jonathan Dines. I voted for this book, and I read this book, so also reviewed this book. Link below. Some honorable mentions here. From Scratch by Tembi Locke. I also reviewed this book, and it's coming to Netflix next year as a limited series. A super great memoir. Know My Name by Chanel Miller. This is the memoir of the woman who was raped by Brock Turner, I think his name was, and just her side of the story, and I would really love to read her book. So the next category is History, and the winner of this was The Five, The Untold Lives of the Women Killed by Jack the Ripper. I haven't heard of this book, and it hasn't really been on my radar, but it sounds really good, so it might be on my to-be read list. Some honorable mentions on here. I just finished the HBO series Chernobyl, which is nuts. If you guys haven't watched that, you should watch it. But after I watched it, I was like, I need to read a book about Chernobyl. So one of the books on here is a book I actually found, and it's called Midnight in Chernobyl by Adam Higginbotham. Checking that out. Another book on here that I want to read is The Only Plane in the Sky, An Oral History of 9/11. And I got this book from the Bookstagrammer Allison Reads DC, and she really loved it, and I really want to check it out. Okay, so next category is Best Debut Novel, and the winner was Red, White, and Royal Blue. I don't know how I feel about the same book winning twice. Gotta like spread the love. But I voted for A Woman Is No Man, so I voted for it for 2 categories, so I guess the roles would be reversed if A Woman Is No Man won both, so I would be totally fine with it. So finally, the young adult category, and the winner is 5 Feet Apart by Rachel Lippincott. I haven't read this book, and I think it's based off of a movie. So I don't really know much about it, but I'm sure it's great. If you read YA or are like really interested in YA, let me know if you agree with that winner or if you think another book should have won, because I have no general knowledge on this category. And I would appreciate the feedback. Okay, so that was it. That was kind of a longer video, but I kind of wanted to go through some of the categories that I'm really interested in that Goodreads put together. Do I agree with all the winners? No. Do I think some of the winners should have been more diverse in color, race, ethnicity, identification? Yeah, I think they should have been. In the comments below, let me know what books you would have picked for the Best Choice Awards of 2019. And as always, remember to like this video and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys next time.